Michael Jordan is by far one of the best players to play the game of basketball. Michael Jordan's impact in the NBA is like one we never seen before. You have players like LeBron James, even Kobe Bryant, and many other players revolve their game and their play style around MJ, even so far as wear the same number he has. But players are now getting bigger, and big men such as power forwards and centers are becoming more athletic and getting good with the three ball and their ball handling. And because of that, a lot of people think that Michael Jordan would not survive in the NBA today. So today, we're going to ask the question, what if Michael Jordan joined the modern day Bulls? So using the power of the roster creation in NBA 2K, I created a new Bulls lineup. Essentially, I kept everything the same, but I did put Michael Jordan onto the Bulls. I also added Scottie Pippen because, what's Michael Jordan without Scottie Pippen? I felt like if I put Scottie Pippen there, it would be more of a balance, so you wouldn't see Michael Jordan dropping 60, 70 points a night. So that's why I added Scottie Pippen to the rotation. So it's the beginning of the NBA season, and of course, the first game of the season is the Philadelphia 76ers. You would actually think that the Bulls would have a hard time actually competing against these three, but in fact, what ended up happening is that the Bulls actually beat them by 30 points. Michael Jordan dropped 31 points, 2 rebounds, and 4 assists. Scottie Pippen also had 20 points and 5 boards, but other than that, it was a really good performance by the both of them. Things to point out is that Michael Jordan was never really a three-point shooter. He could shoot the three, but he never relied on his three-point shot. And this could be said true about the game he had today. As you can see, Michael Jordan shot 0 for 0 from the field. I think even Scottie Pippen shot more threes than he did, but a majority of Michael Jordan's points come from the mid-range and the paint. So the three ball isn't really his specialty, but I do think he can shoot the three if he needs it. But of course, in the league today, if you're not shooting the three, it's really hard to compete against teams like Golden State or the Lakers, in which the three ball is like one of their biggest strengths. After beating the 76ers, the Bulls would go on and win 4 more games, only losing to the Charlotte Hornets, which is an odd team to lose to. But now it's week 3, and the Bulls go against last year's finals champions, the Golden State Warriors. Before we even talk about what happened in this game, in the comment section down below, tell me who you guys think is going to win this game. Do you think Jordan and the Bulls are going to win, or do you think Curry and the Warriors are going to win? So the game goes out like most of you guys would probably expect. With nobody to answer back to Steph Curry's three, Steph Curry would go on and score 21 points in the first half. Even though Michael Jordan wasn't as effective as Steph Curry was, he was still able to get some stats. He had 16 points and only 1 assist. Something to point out is that the lack of rebounds that Michael Jordan was getting, because usually if you look back at the days, Michael Jordan was able to get boards, but I think it's because of the likes of Kevin Durant and DeMarcus Cousins and Draymond Green on this team. It makes it 10 times harder for him to grab boards and be as effective as he used to. With only 2 minutes left in the fourth quarter, the score is 71-70, and it's still anyone's game. But all of a sudden, Steph Curry just starts shooting lights out. Like, there was no hope for the Bulls. Steph Curry will go to sink 10 3-pointers in this game alone, and with that, the Bulls start losing the lead, and Jordan struggles to help his team come back. Curry will finish the game with 38 points, shooting 10 for 16 at the 3, and Jordan will finish with 26 points, shooting 11 for 14 from the field. And just like the 76ers game, Jordan had a really hard time banging his 3-point shots. He shot no threes the entire game, although he did have a good shooting percentage from the field. But what surprised me a little bit was the fact that Scottie Pippen actually did not have a good game. In fact, you had people like Chris Dunn, Wendell Carter Jr., and Zach LaVine all scoring more points than Scottie Pippen. Even though they lost the game, Jordan is still a little bit confident. He thinks that the team still has what it takes to be a championship contender. They just need to work on defensive aspects and ways to score the 3 ball. Around December, like I think early in December, the Bulls do get hit with the injury bugs. Scottie Pippen does sprain his right knee, which deems him out for I think about 2 weeks. But to be fair, it didn't really hurt the Bulls because at this point of time, Scottie Pippen was really underperforming, barely getting to more than 10 points a game. It was actually really crazy to see that. The Bulls would eventually finish the season 60-22, giving them the opportunity to battle off in the playoffs. Michael Jordan actually finished the season averaging 24.3 points a game, 6 rebounds, and 2 steals. He would also go and shoot 60% from the field and 46% of the 3, so he did in fact improve in his 3-point shot throughout the season. And if you take a look at Scottie Pippen, he averaged 13 points, 6 rebounds, 7 assists, and 2 steals per game. He would also shoot 52 from the field and 36% from the 3, and that's kind of in par of what Scottie Pippen used to do back in the days. But if you look back at Jordan, it's kind of cool to see that he shot better threes and had a better percentage than he ever did all his career. So this is actually Jordan's best season ever. Michael Jordan will also become an all-star captain. So he basically got if you guys don't know, they did change how the all-star works. Basically, 2 people get to choose players to the team. So instead of the West versus the East, it'll be like Team LeBron versus Team Curry like they did this year. So in this case, it was LeBron and Micheal Jordan who got picked, which is kind of cool to see. Unfortunately, Micheal Jordan's team ended up losing to Team LeBron, but that wasn't really a big deal. I didn't really get into much detail about what happened. Surprisingly, not a single Bulls player won any seasonal award. And what actually crazy was that DeMarcus Cousins won league MVP. So it was kind of crazy to see that happen. But anyways, jump forward to the playoffs. The Bulls had no trouble in the first round. They beat the Detroit Pistons 4-2. It was pretty much an easy game. I think Jordan averaged roughly around like 24, 23 points that whole entire series. The second round is where things got a little bit harder for the Bulls. So in the second round, they faced the 76ers, and you do remember the first game of the season, they did beat the 76ers by 30 points. So you would think this game wouldn't be that hard. The Bulls end up going down 3-2 in this series. So if they don't win this next game, their whole entire playoff run will be over. In game 5, the Bulls battle it out like their life depends on it. With 24 seconds left on the clock, Jordan Tate has the ball in his hand. He instantly blows by Jimmy Butler, but then he goes for the dunk and actually misses the shot. He cannot believe he missed. That is, bro, I have to play this back because when I was in the game watching this, I could not believe Jordan missed that dunk. The face was priceless. There's 3.2 seconds left on the clock, so it's a tied game. Joel Embiid has the ball in the post. So if he makes this bucket, the game is over. He's being guarded by Wendell Carter Jr. He gives Wendell Carter a mean spin, going for the layup, and it's blocked. He blocks the game, saving the Bulls, and we're going to overtime. So in overtime, the score is 75-74. The Bulls are up 1. Ben Simmons is at the free throw line. He needs to make both these free throws for the 76ers to win the game. He banks the first one. Now the pressure's all on him, bro. All he needs to do is make this last free throw and then win the game. And he misses the game-winning free throw. So we're going to a second overtime. In the second overtime, the Bulls are down by 1 point. Micheal Jordan has the ball in his hand. He needs to find a way to score and not force to the paint. He calls for a screen and dishes to Wendell Carter. And then Wendell Carter kicks it to Scottie Pippen, and then Scottie Pippen bangs an easy mid-range. With 18.2 seconds left on the clock, the Bulls need to stop. Ben Simmons actually holds the ball for the majority of the time left, and he kicks it to Embiid with 2.7 seconds left. Embiid is in the paint with Wendell Carter. He puts up the hook shot. It looks like it was going in. He looked like he was wide open, but he does miss a shot. The Bulls win, and we have another game on our hands. And with that clutch performance from Jordan, he's very confident in going to Game 7. And his confidence also rubs into the team, and the Bulls actually end up beating the 76ers 41-54, moving on to the third round. The crazy thing about this season is that the Raptors are actually having a pretty good season. With the likes of Kawhi Leonard, Kyle Lowry, like the team is actually looking good and actually winning games. So what's actually crazy, they beat the Milwaukee Bucks and the Cleveland Cavaliers 4-1 each game. The first 3 games don't look so good for the Bulls. The Bulls do struggle to actually beat the Raptors. Jordan is actually scoring some of the lowest points he's ever scored in the playoff. He is down 0-3. This has never ever happened to him before in his career. Just coming out of the Game 7, Jordan knows how hard it is to compete in today's NBA. Now it's Game 4. Jordan needs to win at least one game of the series to give his team the confidence to come back and win. But the Raptors are looking to put Jordan out of the playoffs and move on to the championships. With the championship on the line and another opportunity to get another ring, Jordan drops 35 points, 10 assists, and 3 rebounds, getting his first double-double of the playoffs, which leads his team to victory. The Bulls do end up beating the Raptors 48-43. Now with 1 win under his belt, Jordan is really determined now to come back and win this series. The Bulls do end up winning Game 5 of the series, Jordan dropping 40 points, another 10 assist game, and 4 rebounds. Now it's Game 6. Can Jordan defeat the Raptors, put his team in a 3-3 situation, and then win Game 7 and go to the NBA Finals? Unfortunately, that's just not how it goes. The Bulls do end up losing the series. It's unfortunate because Jordan put everything he had in the game. He dropped a whopping 50 points. Jordan put everything he had in this game, but it wasn't enough to beat the Raptors. So the Bulls do get kicked out of the playoffs, and the Raptors move on to go face the Golden State Warriors. What's crazy about the thing is that the Raptors actually beat the Golden State Warriors in the NBA Finals, and Kawhi gets crowned Finals MVP. After losing in the conference finals, the playoffs, Jordan is determined to come back and win another season with the new and improved Bulls. But unfortunately, the Bulls fans wake up and they realize it was just a dream. Anyways guys, thanks for watching the video, man. It took me a while to edit this, so if you can leave a like, if you can comment, if you can share the video, I would really appreciate it. Also, if you're new here, make sure you hit that subscribe button. I do have another one of these types of videos coming out, these what if videos, so if you guys want to see any other type of what if, make sure you put it down in the comment section below. Anyways, like I said before, man, if you enjoyed the video, make sure you leave that like button. If you're new here, please make sure you hit that subscribe button. It's been your boy, my Rusty. I'll catch you guys in the next video.